What time do you get inside the crane and when do you leave?
Get here about 7:30, climb up as quick as I can so we can get to work. Just been a lot of slow work, keeping everything safe. There's a lot of traffic going on around here, so we have to be careful of everybody walking around. It's a pretty busy area. Yeah, just a lot of slow work, ripping out old burnt beams and old copper roofs and a lot of old stuff, so you got to be careful with it. I got the best view in the city, I can tell you that. Look around and I can see everybody coming and going. It's pretty exciting. I mean, this is the most exciting job I've ever been on. My first tower crane, so it's definitely a good practice and good chance to learn, and hopefully I'll be on a lot more projects like this.
Talk about the communication that you have with the workers on the ground and also up high.
Yeah, we all have walkie-talkies, so if anybody sees anything, we're always talking to each other. You know, even if it's not a signal, they're letting me know what's going on, what the plan is, how everything's looking. Because like just right then, we were inside the building and I couldn't see what I was picking up, and I was just relying on their eyes and their signals.
The history of the Orange County Courthouse Clockworks comes from a 1973 book called History of the Orange County Courthouse, compiled by Paoli attorney Arthur Dillard. Dillard writes, "We find an order of the Board of Commissioners at a special meeting on November 30, 1898, entering into a contract with John W. Hollingsworth and Son to place a new clock in the tower of the courthouse for the sum of $395. In his editorial column from the Paoli Republican, March 29, 1899, Alfred W. Brunner, editor and publisher of the Paoli Republican, writes, "It might prove valuable to future generations to present some facts in concise form concerning the new clock. The new clock was manufactured by the E. Howard Watch and Clock Company of Boston, Massachusetts, and was the 55th tower clock erected by that firm in this state. Salem, Bedford, Bloomington, Seymour, Vincennes, Washington, and in fact all the best county seat towns have the same clock. It is the 1996th clock built by the Howards and embodies all their years of experience and is guaranteed to keep within a minute a month of exact time. The machine is a wonderful creation and presents many interesting mechanical curiosities. The clock weighs 1,210 pounds exclusive of the weights and costs $395, FOB Boston. The weights are stone and tip the beam at 750 pounds. The pendulum ball weighs 74 pounds and is swung by a cherry rod 8 feet long. The dials are 6 feet in diameter and stand 24 feet above the clockworks. The works of the old clock were used to draw the new one up into the tower. The new clock was started at 4:11 p.m. Tuesday, March 7th, 1899. Hollingsworth and Son, the enterprising jewelers of Paoli, mounted the clock on its elevated perch, adjusted and set it into motion to mark time and strike the hours. You were telling me that you have been winding this clock. Go ahead and walk over to it.
I took this position 3 years ago, and every 2 days I would have to climb up into the clock tower and wind the clock.
And this is where you put the crank on.
There's actually two places. This was for one, and this was another one right here.
For every crank, these cables turn around, or
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, there's two weights in there. One is like a 600-pound piece of limestone that was hooked to a cable. The other is two wooden boxes that they built that's full of rocks and steel to fill it up for weight. Each one of those was hooked to these cables. They ran through the walls of the building, went all the way to the ground level. So then when you cranked them up, one of them cranked the stone up and the other one cranked the other box up.
Could you feel the weight of those when you turned?
No, you couldn't feel the weight of them because these gears are so big. I mean, it took all you had. You know, you went so many turns, and then you took a little break, and then you just do it some more, and then you took a little break. So, but yeah.
I was telling you earlier that I saw a newspaper article where Bill Barnes said it took 190 turns.
I never counted, but I heard you say it. He said it was about 45 minutes, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Yes, I never let it get all the way down except a couple times by accident, and it did take that long. That's why I went in every 2 days. It was just easier on me to not let it go all the way down. The bell would chime. This thing, it would click down, and it would just spin. And I don't know, it was winding something, but after it was done, that's when the bell would chime. I really don't know what this...
So this is part of the bell striking mechanism.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, it would just spin as fast as it could, and then stop, and then the bell would chime. It was interesting to watch it work.
Yeah.
It really was.
And that it looks so good being 125 years old.
Yes, but this actually still works. I mean, if you had it hooked up and wound it, it works. What's going through your mind seeing this Clockworks here sitting on the ground? Well, I really don't have an opinion on that. I'm glad we're getting it fixed, so I mean, I'm excited about it, to be honest. So, very excited to have it down here, and so people can see it. Yeah. Nobody besides me and really a handful of other people has ever seen it. So this will be going right across the square to the county museum. The Orange County Museum, yes. What's your favorite part about being the caretaker of the clock here? Well, before now I was really one of the few that got to see it. But now everybody's going to get to see it, so I'm just happy for everybody.